Hello, welcome. Models are still warm. I just now got them out of the cure, so just in time for the live stream. Today we're doing something a little different than what I've been doing in the past. I've been Pete already. Uh, in the past, the last few videos have been about my new wire bending robot machine and how much fun I'm having with that, obviously. But this one was a little different. I haven't made one of these before. Well, yesterday I made one as a trial run to make sure everything goes smoothly and fits nicely. But we are talking about the keyless expander, and I was given a couple samples from Aaron Keles. But I don't know. Oh, Fade, am I saying that right? Alden, nice to see you here. So yeah, we're doing an expander where most of the time with expanders you use one of these, which is a key, and you can see there's a tiny little like a wire. It doesn't look like a key, but that's what they call it as a key, and you have to insert it into the mouth and find this tiny little activation hole and activate it using this. And parents have a lot of hard time. In fact, I had a doctor um, that said he looked into these because he had a patient who wouldn't allow his or her parents anywhere around her mouth or his mouth. I forget which it was, but they wouldn't let a parent or guardian around the mouth at all. So he introduced me to these, and then they took them off the market, made some upgrades, and then came back and did some upgrades and made a really nice RPE here. So let's share this. Excuse me. So I have I'm hoping I'm saying this right. Aegis Star um, Dental Technologies is who sells this. And then this is Keles, if I'm saying that right, Keyless Expander, so the KKE. So if I say the, if I keep wanting to say the Keyless Expander, but um, let's take a look at what's in here. Obviously, we have an empty. Oh, I guess this. I may have already opened this one. So this is how it comes. Probably was in here. It's got some nice features to it. Um, I mean, these are just the. It protects the ends, I guess, so that they don't poke through the bag. They don't poke through the bag, but the arms are pre-bent. I'm going to take all these off, and it comes with a nice little plastic piece that protects the keyless part, which is this, which is pretty cool. Lots of like gears and things in there, and this is a 10 millimeter one. If I do the light, does that help? It doesn't help, but it's really shiny, so it's hard coming on here. And so what this does is it's in the roof of the mouth, and they activate this. Right now it's really loose because there's no pressure on it, but they activate it, and there are stops on here. I wish you could see this. There's a stop right here on this spindle, and it prevents it from going too far this way. And then on here, there's another stop, and it prevents it from going too far this way. So I'm not going to activate it right now. I'll assemble it first, and then we'll activate it. And then I actually have a reverse kit that they sent, a keyless expander reversal kit. And you can reverse this intraorally inside the mouth, or take it out and reverse it that way, which is usually how I do it. There are some instructions. This assembled just like a regular RPE does. So I'm glad I got to play with this or do a sample case first. This is showing a 3D printed bands with arms, and that's exactly what I have. I have two models here. I can't remember which one goes with which. Let's see. So I have my 3D printed metal bands I got from D3D, and they make a nice. I wonder if I got the right model on that. Let's see. Let's do this one. So, oh yeah, there we go. Sometimes the file, the scan I send them, what prints is a little different depending on, did I wash it off really good or whatnot. But I think that is pretty good. This is the exact model I made it on. What the doctor asked for a sample case so he can say, hey, this is what you're going to get. It's got a little spindle thing in here. So I am making an extra one for him just as a sample case, and that's what we're assembling today. So if I screw this up, you know how my live streams go. If I screw them up, then they, it's a sample case. Now, the other one I sent before was going to be the sample case, but they asked for it a day early, so I shipped it to them yesterday, and they're going to get it on Friday. But it worked great. Let's see, Vlad Cumin. Why wouldn't they make a quad helix for him? Well, that's the doctor's preference. The doc, an RPE is a rapid palatal expander. A quad helix is a slow palatal expander. It's very slow. I make tons of RPEs. I have a doctor that, I make tons of quad helixes, and that's all that doctor does. Other doctors, depending on where they went to school, their training, they like the RPEs. It happens a lot faster as far as expansion. And I don't know if there's more control. Probably not. Probably if the doctor's really good with quad helixes, they probably have perfect control. But I would like to see a study sometime. Vlad is okay. Thank you. You know me, my Texan accent. I can't pronounce words very good. I'm having a hard time with Keles. So thank you to Aaron who sent this to me. I put his email in the description below if you want to order some of these and test them out on your doctors. But the ones that like to do RPEs. So, like, Vlad, you bring up a good point. Quad helixes you don't have to activate, and what they do is it's got two coils. I've looked on my live streams. I made one this year sometime, and you stretch it out really wide, and then compress it down and glue it in real quick, and then over time that expansion goes. But I guess they have to pull it out. They got to be really good because with this they can just stop turning. The doctor says, okay, you're where you need to be, stop activating, and it stops. Whereas the quad helix could conceivably keep expanding, which is not ideal. All right, so starting with this, I got this thing's going to make it easy. The pictures, I have this. This is the website. This is that spindle that's in the middle. It has, you can see the stop on the bottom and the stop on the top. And their website is aegisstar-star.com. And they have a keyless expander. I believe I put a link down below if y'all would like to view that. But it is a very well engineered screw. Let's see if I can find one. It's got a better picture of. Okay, it's a 2-arm RPE. I'm going to be making a 4-arm, but it should be about the same thing. But you just take your finger and you just activate it like that, and then you pull it back, and that activates it. And it's 0.2 millimeters of a turn every time. So, if I did Alan Fide, I'm sorry if I'm messing that up. Good night. Okay, must be night where you're at. So what I'm going to do first is let me remove this little tag that D3D put on here. I think I'm going to try to keep this bar here and attach the arms right here and here. There is instructions, and Aaron, who's the son of the inventor of this. So the inventor is Dr. Keles, Keles, Keles. He's a professor in Harvard, an orthodontist doctor at Harvard Dental School, and he invented this thing. And his son, I believe, is going to dental school too, and he's helping to run this company at the same time, which is pretty amazing. But there is instruction. I'll go through the instructions. I don't think it's on here. He texted me a PDF of how it's supposed to be, and I'm on a different computer, so I wasn't able to import it. I do have it on my phone. Maybe I can pull it up real quick there. Yeah. So sorry for the phone, but if you can see, it shows you where it needs to be. So that first screw arm, the threaded part needs to be in line with the premolars, the fives or the D's or E's, and then the arm should be 2 millimeters away from the roof of the mouth, the tissue, which is pretty much standard, and then the spindle here. I shouldn't show these pictures because mine might not come out as nice as this. Activation arm head should be 2 to 3 millimeters away from the palatal mucosae. And then, of course, the orientation should be parallel to the occlusal plane. So pretty much the same assembly as a regular RPE, except you can't pre-activate this like you normally would. You have to actually reverse it. So I may have, oh, that was backwards. That would be terrible to make this. So I'd only got one size, which is this 10 millimeter size. Actually, I am going to have to remove this arm here. So let me do that real quick. I'm just going to cut it and cut it. So what I'm going to do is attempt to do this without solder and just do my welder. I have a Puck D3 welder here. You can't really see it very well, but you'll see when I get to that point. I'm going to grind this off. These are actually, this is stainless steel. What I used yesterday was chrome cobalt, and it welded to that just fine. So right now I'm just grinding off these little nubs from this support bar. I'm not talking because I'm not breathing. Safety squint. Probably need a suction to do this. Okay. So now, what I'm probably going to do is just put a little wax just to hold this in place. Let's just do it here and here. I gotta love these 3D printed bands. They just fit so nice. This is definitely the future. The doctors love these because they don't have to go through a separator appointment. They don't go in between the teeth at all. They just adapt so well around the anatomy. So I have that done. So let me get the arms here ready. Yeah, I'm just making sure this is all the way down. It is hitting the stop that is right there. Oh, Ilya, Happy New Year. Yes, it is New Year's Eve right now. I just now realized that. Okay, let's do some drawing on here. So I'm going to draw down the middle here. Using a felt tip pen, this is probably not going to stay on. And then, of course, they want that threaded part right here. And then they need it 10 millimeters, which I don't think I can get the 10 millimeters below the gum line or above the gum line because, you know, this is like this in the mouth. So yeah, about right there is where this needs to be. So I'm going to do a little trick here and hopefully don't catch my bench on fire. I'm going to melt some wax in the roof of this. And I'm just going to make an index for my, the screw. So I like doing this because, so this is a heat-proof surface. They use this in ovens. And I got my flame here. I'm just going to melt some wax. Try not to catch the model on fire. If y'all know anything about trying to solder on these, you know about that. So while it's still melted, I'm going to push this into that melted wax. Make sure it's not touching the sides. And the important thing is I want to make it parallel with the occlusal plane. I like it with this activation arm because it really helps me find the center of the palate. Let's see, I'll turn some brightness. So I'm going to let that, I'm going to shift it over just a bit. Now, I wouldn't do this unless you have a steamer. I have a steamer. So if wax gets it, you don't want to get wax into the ratcheting and all that stuff in there. So I do have a wax, a steamer that can steam out the wax out of these screws. So I wouldn't attempt this unless you have a steamer. That's 2-ply. Another thing I use is Mortite. Some of you, I think I actually got this from one of you listeners, and it's window seal caulk. And I don't have the box. Where did the box go? Well, I have it somewhere. It stays in a pliable. It's almost like clay, but it's got a silly putty feel to it. And you warm it up, and then you put it in there. But this does kind of stick to it a little bit, so I like to put a little bit of separator on the bottom of it. And this is a lot more, if you are soldering, this is a lot more forgiving than pink wax. All right, so let's remove it's already loose. And you can see in here is an impression of part of that screw. So what this is going to do is help me make sure I put it in the same spot every time whenever I'm activating or bending these arms. Let's see, I got a RPE activator thing somewhere. There we go. An arm bender. And you can't see it, but I can feel it just kind of slot in. And so as I'm making adjustments to the arm, and these arms on here are stiff. They're pretty rigid. I don't know if I like bending the RPEs from different manufacturers because they use different types of metals, and some are softer, which makes it, of course, easier to bend. But then you run into the problem of is it too soft to help with activation? I'm gonna swing these forward a bit. Kind of want to hit it right in the middle of that tooth, right in the middle of that molar. And if I can just lay it flat just like that, that'd be perfect. I'm gonna put, it's not flat right. This is gonna be part of the me trying not to solder. And I don't know if you can see that. Actually, I do need to grind down that nub a little bit more and pull this off. So part of me not soldering is I want to just weld this, and a part of me trying to get a good weld on here is this RPE arm needs to be completely touch that molar band as much as possible. So I need to put a little curve in there and then bend it out again. So I'm putting a little curve so that this arm lines up with the face of this band. Okay, so it's pretty parallel. I just now need to move it out. So I'm just going to grab it by the base and just pull it down. Do a lot of y'all bend your RPEs like this by hand, or do you use a tool? They do make some, I don't know if they make it for this, but they do make like some of the RPE manufacturers make like a plier that you can grab it with the plier. I think I'm there. I'm going to double check on my thing here just to make sure that, yeah. Okay, I think we're ready to weld. You can see with the 3D printed metal bands, it makes really easy work of this. And of course, you know, the famous last words in a live stream. Oh, look how well this is going. And then everything goes to crap. Actually, I do want to put a little bend right there. Let's mark it. No, maybe not. I think I can get away with that. So I'm going to go to my puck welder and we'll tack this up, and then I'll take it off and we'll really weld it down. We do have a question, I think. Nope. I am going to put just a little bit of wax just to hold this screw in place. I don't want to weld, and it's happened to me before. Let me know if it's happened to y'all before. You hold it in place like this with your hand, and then you weld over here, and then something happens and something's not touching on the other side. Okay, now let's see if I have I wonder if I can zoom in more. Nope. Okay, so I have this, my setting on stainless steel. I think I can get a shot of it for you. My settings I'm going to use. So this is my puck welder here, and I have it. These are the settings I'm going to use. Power is 50%, and the time is 5 milliseconds, but which is the preset of this. If I was welding these to a regular preform band, I would use this setting. But since we're using the nice thick 3D printed metal bands, I'm going to use that setting. Woo! Don't get sick on me. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to do some initial. Oh, I'll need to change out that. I like to have a nice sharp burr. I do keep a little container of pre-sharpened. I said burr, didn't I? That's weird. Electrode. These are electrodes, and as you use them, that's the downfall of this. As you use them, they dull, and so I put the dull ones in here, and then these are the sharp ones that are sticking up, ready to poke me in the finger whenever I'm ready. Okay, let's get a good weld. Make sure my band is seated all the way. Yep. I don't want to do too much. I would like to get a couple of hits. That one's not touching. Boy, you think you're a good wire bender until you get under a laser welder. And then you're very humbled. Okay. Okay, so that should be pretty well tacked. Let me do the front of this. And I'm trying to distribute the heat as much as possible. I don't want to warp this. I do need to bend this one. I don't know if you can tell in the camera, but it's not touching. Let me switch cameras. This one, it wasn't touching like I thought it was. Right here. So what I'm going to do is pop this off. Oh! Eject it off, more like. And then I'm going to take my 3 prongs here and just lean it against it. I can't wait till we're almost done, and then we're going to move on to, I'm going to show you how this activates, and then how I reverse it. Remember, I'm still a novice at this. This is only my second one I've ever made, but I really am starting to like them. Okay, let's go back to here. Get my grounding rod here. There we go. And then helps that this is stainless steel. Oh, geez. Oh, I just activated that. So I'm just, man, I'm really having a hard time. All right, let's get this nice and I mean, I know this isn't a laser welder, but you can still get some pretty good welds out of this. Stacking dimes. I don't even know if y'all can see that very well. I'll show y'all in the other camera. I think it got, oh, I need to fill this one in. So much easier to weld to these 3D printed bands. Are just thicker. You don't blow holes in them, or at least I haven't done it yet. I'm sure I can figure out. I'll figure out a way how. I'm just making sure I got it thoroughly welded all the way around. Do the underneath here. And I do have a higher setting on my welder, but I don't want to warp things because this is already kind of hot in my hand. Okay, we got that all welded up. Let's test the fit. Live on air. Cross my fingers. Okay, good. I would hate for that to... So, Vlad, so you need more power for the 3D printed band, if I understand. Yes. Yeah. Well, you don't need more power. You could probably do with the lower setting too, but you can use more power, which makes the weld point bigger. Otherwise, your weld point is just super tiny. So the weld point's bigger on these using that setting. Fade, yes, I need this machine for orthodontic welding. Yes, with all the 3D printed stuff, both metal and 3D printed models, you can't solder on these because it's a fire hazard that catches fire. A lot of people still duplicate this, put pour it up in stone and then make their appliance on there so they can solder still. But I've come up with, and I'm inventing something that I got some samples from D3D. I'm working with D3D to invent something that's going to help using a welder with this. So my welder, you need argon gas. This is a Puck D5. I think they got a D6 now. PUK D6 from Lampert. So, and you put it under the microscope. It's about $5,000 is this machine, whereas laser welders are getting lower in price too. But let's go back to not that one. That one. Let me clean this up a bit. Oh, I still need to put brackets on this. Well, I guess I don't really need to. This is a sample case. So what I'm going to do right now is just cut these excess arms off. I'm going to grind them down. Oh man, you got to watch what you do. I wonder if I bet that's why that's here. Let me put that back on here. See how I've activated it. Let me put that back on there. So I'll stop activating it while I'm manhandling this thing. There we go. So I have a Mizzy heatless wheel. You know what? We'll put brackets on here. I'll show y'all how I do them. Yeah, I should have been having this protective cover on here the whole time. You know, it's a Mizzy heatless wheel, but if you're not careful, this will heat up your appliance very fast. I know when I'm disassembling an appliance, like redoing a RPE or something with bigger bands. I don't know about y'all, but I fit almost all my bands. Hardly any doctor sends bands to me anymore, especially with 3D printed models. Now, I do have a doctor that, used to. Now they're switching over to these, I think. He sent me his whole band kit, and so he would, when he'd send me a scan through EasyRx, the assistant would they'd fit bands chairside. Okay, let me do a little more welding to smooth off that grinding thing. Those rough spots from the wheel. I'm still looking for one good thing about a laser welder is I think they have HDMI out, and that's what I really want to get for this, so y'all can really see what I'm seeing instead of this side shot. Okay. There they are. It's got some weld burnishing on it. Oh, Vlad, you got one online. I assume you think the ortho welder Got one online for like $700. It's definitely good. Way to keep one in your lab. It's not as smooth as his, and it's something that is needed to get used to. Definitely a time saver. That's $700. I'll have to look into that because that'll be a good backup in case this one, breaks down. Now this hasn't broken down, and I've actually knocked this thing off. You can't see, but my chair here hooked the wires, and I moved forward, and I knocked the whole thing onto the ground. I caught it a little bit, so I think I keep it from, but it still works. Thank goodness. Okay. Oh, I was going to show y'all how I do my brackets. So I have little containers here. Upper left headgear. So this is the type of bracket that this doctor likes to use. And I can show y'all more here. I usually take it and I get my little grounding clamp it here. Actually, I do want to do, when you do heavy, the higher powers, it really dulls the tip fast. So whenever I use my last one, I just take this whole container. And I bought the sharpener. See if I have it somewhere around here. Did it fall down? I don't see it. It must have fell down. Where's my sharpener at? I was going to show it to y'all. I guess I won't. That's weird. Is that it? Huh. I don't know. I'll need it. I'm going to need it whenever I show. Otherwise, you can use a diamond wheel and on your handpiece. So I usually grab the left every time. So on those little containers, I put upper left, upper right. And I'll center this. Try to get it. Ooh, I got it too high. This is where I'm going to use the lower end, just because I'm used to that. So I got the first tack on there. I'm checking what just fell off? Oh, the thing. I'm just checking, making sure it's in a good position. If you have a spot welder, you can probably just spot weld these. Well, I don't know about the 3D printed metal bands. So sometimes these need to be adapted to the band. So I just pushed in on it pretty hard, and it bent this little shelf that are on these brackets. All right, let's move to the other one. And I do have a set of these. Some doctors do not like the headgear bands on there, headgear tubes on there. So I have a set without the headgear tubes. Can I get my initial set? This band is a little thinner on the buckle. Thick, not thickness of the metal, but the height is a little shorter than the other side. I try to, pretty much what I'm doing is just doing the two ends, the mesial and the buckle end, but I do wrap my weld around to the top and the bottom just to help give it more stability. Okay. So here it is. It's finished. I just gotta high shine it. So let's go do that real quick, and then we'll get into activating it and unactivating it, and we'll do that. Let's see if I think I got a mobile camera here I can take. There is one shot that I want to do. There is one more thing I want to do, and let me see if I can. Nope, that one. I do have it's called a Hatho bristle brush. Let's see if I have it here. And it looks like this. It's actually 4 stacked together. This does a really good job of smoothing out metal, getting rid of the, what do you call that? The darkening of the metal when you weld. I call it burnishing, but see, I want to make sure it's smooth. Otherwise, I'd put solder on here to help smooth some of this out, but it's really smooth to the finger. Let's see how well that smooths that out. It's almost shiny just like that. So let's go to the other thing. This is my metal shine wheel, and I get this green stuff, metal polish. Try to get into all those little nooks and crannies. Everywhere I've touched it with my welder. Okay. I do not have my steamer on. Darn. I'm going to try to wash off some of this black shine. It's on my fingers here. Let me turn this off. So I don't have my steamer on, or I'd steam it. I'll do that before I send it. There's the finished product. Didn't seem to take too long. What was that, 45 minutes? Of course, with me talking and everything. So let's activate this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scrape out this pink wax, and you can set it aside. You can use it later. Use it on the next one. That's a good thing about 3D printed model. There's no transfer of, saliva from. If you use this on a plaster mold that came from an impression of the mouth, then maybe you don't want to reuse the wax on it. But you can just save it and remelt it into the next one. And clean this up. So there it is, finished with the tubes on there. And so how this gets activated is the kid, or I guess the parent could do it too, takes this and does like this, and then pushes it back. Just like that. Actually, Aaron told me a trick. I got to push in and activate it. I think what's happening is I might have got just a little bit of wax in there. So I wish I could have, when I steam that out, that should be good. So if I activate, you see how if I slide it to the left, you see it's on a spring, and those teeth engage that gear. So if I activate it and then see how that, now I must have just a tiny bit of wax keeping it from sliding. So let's do it again. So it engages, turns that screw, and it does a stop right there. There's a stop. You can kind of see it when I pull it back. See the stop, and then there's a stop on the back side right there. So it prevents it from embedding into the roof of the mouth. Yeah, it's not fitting all the way yet. So activate it, and then you can see how it, oh, you see how that when I push it back down, let's see if I can get really close. Push it back down, you see the gears slide past each other. No, that didn't slide past each other on that one. Do that again. There we go. Ah, y'all didn't see that. All right, so let's talk about reversal. Oh, there are some dental things. Hey, bud, how's the ortho classes you designing go? Oh, they're done. If y'all are interested, thank you for the shout out. If y'all are interested in learning to bend wire by hand, not by machine, I made a wire bending course 101. And I believe I have the link down below in the description if you're interested in taking a course. You want to learn how to bend wire. And I start from the beginning. What are pliers? What are wires? How do you do a bend? So it's finished. I still need to add some more clasp in there. C clasp and ab clasp. No, I already did C clasp. But I already have those up and going. So those are good. How do I send you a message? I want to send a link to the same one I got. It looks like the price dropped to 400 since I got mine. That's amazing. Yeah. I like your turntables. I just saw that technique. So it's retainer designer. So it's my same username, retainerdesigner@gmail.com. So that's how you can send me an email if you like. But let's reverse this now. And I do have the reversal kit here. And they sent one with each. I don't think the doctor needs to use this. They won't need to use it every single time, but it's already like the tools are already in a autoclave bag. And so they can be autoclaved in between. There's instructions on how to do that. So from what I gather, this is the intraoral reversal. And these two, which this is a screw or a flathead screwdriver, and this separates the gears. So while it's on the model, I'll show you what we have to do as far as reversal. And what they recommend is, and I don't know if I can do this. You can see it's not sitting down all the way on the model now. What they want you to do is get some, is it Weingart or Howell pliers, like this, and you grab the activation arm and you slide it to the left. So you see how the gears disengaged when I did that? Let me do that again. So you can slide it to the left, the gears disengage, and then you take this this thing. It's probably easier in the mouth. And then unscrew the screw. Let's see if I can zoom in. Get one good one in there. There we go. Hopefully y'all saw that. So pretty much you're sliding this to the left to disengage the gears. And then this thing fits on here and is already at a good angle to deactivate. Now, to do it extra-orally or outside of the mouth, I'm going to slide this over again. Oh, now my thing's in the way. Oh, wow. I'm very blue. Okay, I don't know if it's still live or not. Power just went out to the lab. Let's see if I have the same mic going. Nope. Let's do mic. Okay. I don't know why my camera. So I hope y'all enjoyed that little break. Hopefully you're still there. It just went out twice on me. I gotta adjust this blue on this. I don't know why it's so blue. Oh, that and it like reverted to where it was when I first. So I use this camera at my church, and I have to use a different white balance setting. So, all right. Thanks, Dental. Thanks. You're good. I don't know what that looked like on the back end. I guess my background. You saw my background. That was weird. But let's. Well, now all my lights are off. Lovely about living out in the country. So I got this in here. So this little shiv thing here is, I can't get it to focus, but it's in between those gears. It's holding those gears apart. And so they say take this and the threaded part spindle has this little slot in it, and you use this screwdriver in that slot, and you just back it up. You just you clockwise. And so I'm closing this all the way down. Yep, it's all the way down. And so then I'll slide that back out. This should be against here. It's trying to do that. So I'm gonna adjust this. You see how it's not fully engaged in that it's all the way down. So I just need to undo some of my. There we go. It just snapped right in there. So pretty cool. This is a pretty cool little RPE screw. And again, you don't need this. It's got one built in. And one thing that Aaron told me, I have his email in the description below if you want to email him to order these. Or I believe the price of this is $87 per screw, which it seems reasonable because there's a lot of technology in this, a lot of research that went into to designing this. But one thing that he did tell me was go ahead and activate it once, and that's going to help. See, if I put pressure on it, it slides down a lot easier, and there will be a lot of pressure in the mouth. So he said activate it once to get it nice and snug for the doctor. And that's it. That is the Keles Keyless Expander. Hey, if you talk to, I'm not. This isn't a. This isn't a. This isn't the right way to run a camera. This isn't a paid advertisement or something. He did send me a couple samples because I had said he wanted me to test them, and I said, "Hey, I'll do a video on it." And he's like, "That's perfect." So he'll probably be commenting below, answering some of your questions if you have them. So go ahead, if you're watching this recording later, go ahead and put your questions below, and you can. He'll answer those questions, or I'll try to answer them. But very, I'm very impressed with this. If it stays on, I'm getting a lot of alerts that my power's back on. But so anyway, that's it. I'll be back in maybe a few days with another live stream, and I'll be doing some more wire bending. I'm going to take a wire, we're going to design it, we're going to bend it, and then I'm going to bring it in here, I'm going to adapt it, and we can see exactly how long it does take. Does it save time? Does it not save time? So we'll check with that. But until then, again, this is the KKE Keyless Expander. You can order it from here at aegis-star.com, AEGIS Star Dental Technologies. When you order here, I think it's well, after the power went out, there we go. You can contact. These are some of the labs that help do research. These are Neo Lab, Inman Lab, Perfect Finish, Owl, 3D Technology. They're just down the street. I used to work for them before they merged. So if you are an experienced person with this, they also have these without the tubes, the arms in them. And so you can just get the framework with the 4 arms already, and you can just weld the screw directly to the 3D printed framework. So that's very nice. And then they got, look at the videos on here, because you can do it with TADs, you can do 2-arm, bonded RPE. I do have a doctor that does a lot of the bonded RPE, so I think that he would like those. Here's the 2-arm. Here are some before and afters. Beautiful job. See the crowding, and see how much expand it. And it does have a cool little stop mechanism, so it doesn't disengage and fall apart in the mouth. It's in one of these videos. And so anyway, I thought I would share this with you. This is something that I got to play with a lot. And yes, I was wondering if anybody would notice this. Yes, this is a Fallout poster. I got it for my sons gave it to me for Christmas. It's a disc plate. So Fallout suit power armor. And so I played Fallout 4, dabbled in New Vegas a little bit. But if you'd also do, my sons played it also, and then we've been watching the Fallout TV series, which has been great. So nice. I love Fallout. See, and I can see you like Halo too from your picture. I think that's Master Chief in your picture. Vlad, I sent you an email. Thank you so much for all the information. Absolutely. I think we're all here as a community together. I love doing this and hearing from y'all and hearing y'all's and connecting us Fallout fans connecting together. And so hopefully y'all survive the wastelands in the new year. So it's New Year's Eve, and so Happy New Year to everybody out there. Tonight, be safe, and hopefully you're with friends and family. With that being said, I'm going to end the stream there. And oh, yeah, I already did that one. Set the outro video so that it's fancy. And okay, so this is what I usually do. Until next time, happy bending. Oh, I don't